refuse this call, hang up now. To block this call and all future calls, press or say 9. This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
Hey, Rudy.
Hey, Omar. It's good to hear your voice, man. Any news on you're going to get out soon?
Well, no. The Supreme Court just denied 2 petitions of mine. It just appears that if your name is Omar Qazi, there's no justice or any type of law in our country,
Wow.
Just ignore everything I say. So, yeah, every single court. There's not a court I can go to. I'm thinking international court now. But it's just violation of human rights, It's just, it's unbelievable that there's not a court that will even address my questions. Whatever it is, detention, Miranda, doesn't matter,
Yep. I know a prisoner that went to an international court, and his wife was helping him file some papers, and they banned the prisoner from even speaking to his wife. I tell you, it's sickening what's going on in America, and people have no idea.
No idea. Yep, I know. Well, I mean, the stories I hear every day is just so shocking. It just doesn't sound real.
Yep.
I don't know what to do anymore. There's pretty much, they want to give me 100 months, and it seems like there's nothing you can do at this point. When the judge don't care, now it's just a personal thing,
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It just, calling to say hi and just still having hope that something can happen, but so far it's been nothing.
When's the next legal date we need to have in mind? I mean, when is the next date that something happens?
Well, they're saying my sentencing is in November, but I mean, I'm still trying to file some other things, and nothing's definite because it's always changing with these people. So
yeah,
right now I'm just still trying to work on, trying to point out the simple facts of the law that's just clear on its face. I'm trying to get my attorney to file something, so hopefully we'll talk about it soon, and hopefully that gets done.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna point to my own case as an example, on some issues that clearly shows that I should be out, but we have to address it to the court, and I don't know. I guess we'll just wait and see. But that's my only hope, is something happening there, or else, like I said, they already got a ballpark figure of, anywhere from probably the minimum of about 63 and like the maximum of about 100 or 120. So,
that's insanity. I mean, that's just freaking insanity. There's no victim in your crime. It's just crazy, man. These guys are so wicked, and we're going to keep you in our prayers, Omar. I pray that God works a mighty miracle, but sometimes the Lord makes it so that we only have Him to trust, because everybody else, all the court systems, all the prosecutors, even your probably defense attorney, there's nobody that's standing up for you, but the Lord hadn't forgot who you are,
Yeah, well, yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know if I really explained to you the statute issue of what I'm kind of fighting here, but put it to you like this, to summarize it, there's a statute where in Nevada, right? It's a Nevada statute that says that if you're a probationer, a prisoner, or a parolee, and it says whether or not substantial bodily harm results, right, from a battery. The government had conceded in a case that it's not a crime of violence,
Right.
But for me, just the only difference is it's committed on the street, not by a probationer, prisoner, or parolee, that it is a crime of violence, according to the government. Which is totally illogical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how could you say that? But anyways, so I'm just going to keep fighting. It's all I can do, and, hope for the best. I was able to see Todd last Wednesday. I got to just, Yeah, I was in medical, and it looked like he was coming from an attorney visit or something, and just got to say hi to him real quick through the door. And so the guards yelled at him to get back to his unit. So just a quick hi and bye, but it's good to see him, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still here, but yeah. So we just quickly, just told him hi, and that was it. So
can you imagine 14 freaking years and there's no victim in his crime either? I mean,
yeah.
I tell you, man, given when people start to wake up to how many innocent men and women are in this prison system, it can be overwhelming because most people, they just think, well, they must be in jail. They must have done something wrong. And that's not the case at all, man. It's like, no. That's not why they're in jail. They're in jail because it's a for-profit business and people are trying to make money. But our prayers are with you, man. I mean, my heart breaks that you even got to spend another day in jail away from your family. It's just crazy. These people got no empathy whatsoever for human beings that are doing this.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, you don't even know the half of the stories I hear every day. I mean, it's so shocking. It's not believable, really. It's not.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. It's just, I can't believe this is America. I really don't. I just don't believe that this is how our system is, and there's nothing no one can do about it, really.
Right.
Like I said, back in the days, it was a lot different,
Right.
We didn't, they would stand out there with torches and demand answers. Now it's everyone just lay down and kiss your master's feet, pretty much. It's sad. No one's brave these days. It's
yeah.
It's not what it is, and then what breaks my heart too is a lot of people that I've talked to, or whether in here or out, that say that they'll be there for me or this or that. I don't hear nothing from them ever, it's disheartening. It really is.
I hear that same story, man. That same story of people that they thought had friends. These guys were like hosts of radio shows. They thought they had friends that were hosts of radio shows, but once the state labeled them a criminal and put an orange jumpsuit on them, man, they find out who their friends are real quick because nobody wants to talk to them anymore. Nobody writes them a letter. Nobody will receive their phone calls. I mean, it's the Bible says that that they will call evil good and good evil, but it's a terrible how so-called friends will turn away from somebody just because the state's labeled them a criminal.
Right. Well, what do you do? What do you do in these circumstances? I mean, I keep hearing just only thing you can do is, I guess, have faith in God, But like I said last time, like I'm kind of having, I question God. Like, what's going on here? I don't get it. Why? Why?
Well, the only thing I know why. I asked the same question, why, and it's a hard question to answer, and there's not an easy answer. But I recall the book of Job, and I can also tell you it's not just happening to you. I mean, I really want you to know that there are innocent men and women in prison that have spent like over 35 years in prison, and I know that they're innocent. I know they're innocent, and they shouldn't have spent a day. I know that doesn't do you any good, right? Because you want to get home and spend time with your family, but it's just our whole system is so freaking corrupt, and we've allowed it to be this way because, it's like people don't care. I mean, it's not that we're not exposing the truth. People are exposing the truth. People are putting the truth out there. The problem is not that people are not exposing it. The problem is people don't give a damn. That's the problem.
Yep. Well, yeah, until they're in the shoes. That's
until it happens to them, right?
Just the bottom line,
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know. And it's like I've written Congress members and senators or whoever, 100 foundations, literally probably 100 foundations, no lie. And I'd say 60% of them don't even respond, or 70% of them don't respond. And the ones that do respond, we're low on resources or staff. Sorry, apologize, we can't help you. Like, okay, well then, which foundation can help? Who can help? There's nobody. It's crazy. It's pretty much if you're rich or famous, you get some action. If not, then boo-hoo.
Yeah.
But it's not how it should be, and I'm just trying to figure out what else to do. So my circumstances right now, put it to you like this: it's like finding a needle in a haystack. The judge ruled. He kind of left the door open He said, if you could find me a case with the same statute of conviction that I had, right, which was done by like in an overbroad manner, like by minimal force. So, for example, but this is not going to be case law. You're going to have to find this through like word of mouth. Like, let's say you know an attorney in Nevada, right? And he had a client named Joe 6 months ago who had the same conviction that I did, battery with substantial bodily harm. But he did it by a non-violent manner. Like, he slightly pushed somebody and the person happened to fall over and, you know, crack their jaw or, you know, had significant harm. Well, that wouldn't be considered a crime of violence because it was done by minimal force. It wasn't by like an extreme or violent, furious force. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's done by like a minimal standard. Well, that's all I have to show, and I could literally walk out tomorrow. Do you get what I'm saying? But and it's definitely possible because you know, even I'm trying to bring up my own case where even though I was wrongfully convicted, you know, but I signed a guilty plea where I was accused of repeatedly shoving somebody, okay, that's not a violent force, you know, that's not an extreme force. Shoving is not considered, the Supreme Court has already ruled that, you know, in a case called Castleman. But anyways, you know, so now I'm trying to dig for a case, but the only way I could do that is by talking to, you know, either the people in here or a Nevada attorney. You get what I'm saying? That's in a hard spot here, and you know, I'm just trying to reach out and trying to figure things out. But that's literally all I have to show is that, you know, a person was convicted in an overbroad manner. You know,
yeah,
that the statute could be used by the state like that. That's all I have to show.
Well, I'm like the worst person in the world when it comes to legal stuff. But if you want to, I mean, if you think you've explained it in such a way that anybody can understand that may have a little bit more or have a lot more expertise than me, and maybe they know of a case and they can write you a letter, and hopefully they do, you know.
Well, here, I can give you the statute real quick. The number is, it's NRS for Nevada Revised Statute. It's 200.481, and then it's subsection 2B like boy. And that's the subsection that I was previously convicted of. Like I said, the Nevada battery alone can be done by spitting on somebody, so battery is not a crime of violence. That's according to the courts of law, right? But the funny thing is, like I was telling you, subsection 2F, like Frank, on the same statute, like I said, the only difference is it's done by a probationer, you know, whatever, parolee, whatever. That is not a crime of violence. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, which is shocking because basically if I broke somebody's jaw in here, in prison, it's not a crime of violence according to the government. But if I do it on the street, it is. Does that make any sense to you?
No. No.
That's the current standing of the courts. And I'm trying to show, well, hold on, what's the difference here? Make the government explain. Why, what's the reasoning behind that? How could you logically explain that? You can't.
Yeah.
And that's what's so shocking. It's, you know, that's why they're holding me down and saying that I deserve an extra 5 years because supposedly just my subsection, for whatever reason, because it's Omar Qazi, is not, I mean, it is a crime of violence. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, if you knew what I was talking about, like as far as the law goes, with the Johnson and DeMaya and all this, the force clause, elements clause, and all these issues, you'd be like, that's impossible that you're still there.
Yeah.
You know? But like I said, if it's Omar Qazi, there's no justice in America. You know?
Yeah. Well, I hope somebody listening has some sort of legal help that they can write to you and give you, you know, some sort of advice on that because. You know, I'm not the right guy for that kind of thing, but I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I just have lost all faith in our criminal justice system. I believe all of our judges worship Satan, and I have lost all faith in the prosecutors. They don't care about justice. They just care about convictions, you know?
Yeah, I believe so, too. I mean, you know, It's a very odd feeling in that court. I'll tell you, it's not a happy sight. You know, to go in there, you could feel the evil spirits, and I'm not even joking. It's like it's really weird. You know, and I'm truly saying that. You know, it's very it makes you shake. Like it's just something not right. You know, and it's not like that in the state courts, even though I think it's wrong over there too. But there's a lot more evil going on in that federal court, you know?
Yeah.
There's bad spirits and demons or whatever's going on. They're probably doing rituals for all we know, you know?
I wouldn't doubt it, man. I wouldn't. I know guys that have gone into the courtroom and they've taken holy oil and they've anointed all four corners because it's so wicked. Just the feeling inside the courtroom is wicked, you know?
Right. No, I'm telling you, like when they were reading that jury's verdict, I'm not even joking. I felt like I was being punched all over my body, like little jabs, and I'm like, what? Like it was crazy to me, you know. And I've never had that feeling in my life. I felt like a bunch of jabs all over my body. I can't even explain it. It's like something's punching me, but nothing's there. If that makes any sense, it doesn't, but it's weird.
Yeah.
You know, I probably sound like a lunatic right now.
Yeah, no.
But you know.
Well, after all you've been through, I'm amazed that you've maintained your sanity, man. You know, it's just.
Well, put it to you like this: you gotta laugh sometimes to stop from crying.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You really do. I mean, this is a very tough situation, and it's daily. You know, I'm risking death every day in here. It's not, it's not fun. You know, but I mean, I'm a man. I got to man up to it. I can't, at the end of the day, this is still God's will, and I can't, technically, I shouldn't even be questioning God, But I guess as a human, we don't like to go through this. Who does,
Right.
But it is a temporary. It's a test. It's a temporary world. So I mean, so be it. I guess the reason why. I guess we probably never know, but I don't know. That's the troubling part,
Well, the statement by Job, his wife said, you probably recall the book of Job, right? His wife said, "Why don't you just curse God and die?" And Job called her like a fool or something, and Job said, "Though he may slay me, I will trust in the Lord." And I haven't been what you've been through, Omar. I can't even begin to imagine the hell that you've been through, but I know trusting in the Lord is the right answer. I do know that,
Yeah. Well, I do, and I'm going to keep praying. Like I said, hopefully something changes, something happens,
Yeah.
Anything's still possible. And miracles happen, but, God can make anything happen. He's cured my mother from cancer twice at her age. It's that alone is a miracle. The first time was a miracle, and for her to be gone with cancer 2 times in a row is remarkable, man. It's incredible.
Amen to that.
So, thank God for everything. No matter how bad we are in the circumstances, I still thank Him for everything. I'm still breathing and talking,
Yeah, I'm sure the Lord has a plan for you. Just hang in there, man. There's got to be a light at the end of this tunnel, and hopefully it's not a train. Just so you can get out of prison and get back with your family and pick up your life. But I can tell you there are men that I'm aware of that spent 35 years in prison, and there's still, it'll be, I think in a few days it'll be 36 years, and he's completely innocent. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that he should not have spent a day in prison. So.
Are you talking about a guy named Gordon or something like that?
There's 3 guys actually that are hit the 35-year mark. One of them is Free Laser. He's in California state prison system, and the guy broke down the door and came at him with a butcher knife. And he had a problem with him previously, and his defense attorney sold him down the river, and he spent 35 years in prison for a self-defense shooting. There's another guy that spent 35 years in prison named Yori Von Kahl, who's simply the son of a man that the government hates. Yori Von Kahl never shot anybody, never killed anybody.
1 minute remaining.
And then there's another guy by the name of Scott Fall who spent 35 years in prison. All 3 of those men should have never spent a day in prison.
Wow. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, all we can do is keep praying. Hopefully they get justice someday. as well, and you know, that you just have to have faith in God as well, I guess, you know, and keep fighting.
Yeah, that's all we can do, man. That's all we can do.
Stay strong.
All right, you guys. Okay, we're going to keep you in our prayers, Omar. We're going to run out of time, but I'm going to let everybody know that, you know, to keep, I guess, November in our prayers for your next court hearing.
Oh, hey, and I heard John Lamb's doing a little better too. He's hanging in there, so that's great, man. He's come back together. So
yeah, we love that. He's a great guy. He is getting better, and we give God the praise.
All right, it's going to cut me off, you guys. So you guys have a good one. Good night, and God bless.
God bless you, Omar. It's good to hear your voice, man.